Hallie Jackson. For all of us here at NBC, thanks for watching. Have a great week.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. New Jeep Gladiators up to $7,000 off now at Cars Plus. Named the best vehicle for adventure in 2024. Get your Jeep Gladiator today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
A terrorizing complaint leading to a tense standoff between multiple officers and a man barricaded inside his car. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the story coming up.
CNMI Decision 2024 is in full swing. I'm Tomas Manglonia reporting on Sipan as 5 candidates running for U.S. delegate face off in a forum hosted by the CNMI Society of Professional Journalists.
And we kick off our week-long series highlighting Skip Entertainment Company celebrating 40 years of dancing on Guam.
Hafid, good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for starting your week with us.
A scary situation unfolding outside a local brewery in Hagatna early this morning.
A man who barricaded himself inside a car is in custody after a tense standoff with multiple officers. Mitsuki Hirayama has the details.
A terrorizing complaint leading to a tense standoff on Aspinall Avenue Monday morning. Video circulating on social media showing multiple Guam police officers with their weapons drawn, pointing their guns at a white sedan parked outside Carabao Brewing in Hagatna. An anonymous employee working in the area witnessed the situation unfold. In a phone call with KUAM, he describes what he initially thought was a normal traffic stop.
They all seemed very relaxed. There was one officer kind of towards the back of the car on his radio, and then a second officer was actually just leaning on the car, talking to the person inside through the window that was partially down. It didn't seem very tense or anything. It just seemed like they were talking to him.
The situation taking a serious turn as more officers arrived on scene, to include the chief of police.
Over like the next minute, it seemed like every police officer on Guam was parked in front of the building. Officers showing up, in full armor plates, helmets, long rifles. There was what seemed like a sniper, or at least a guy with a scoped rifle, kind of farther back towards the bank side, covering the car.
The suspect rolling up his window and barricading himself inside the car.
They kept calling over and over, we don't want you to be hurt. Just trying to reassure him, trying to get him out of the vehicle. At that point, they all had their guns drawn.
This is the area where officers responded to that scary situation that had them shutting down not just this area, but the entire street all the way to the Ganya post office for everyone's safety. Another video shows officers smashing the car window, apprehending the suspect, and putting an end to the standoff.
They talked to him for a bit. A bunch of plainclothes detectives showed up, and then they put him in an ambulance and took him away.
The road back open by noon. The car left behind remains a crime scene.
We're just glad nobody was injured. There's a very tense situation, obviously, and a lot of guns in downtown Agana, which you don't normally see on Guam.
The suspect has not been identified as of news time. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
A 78-year-old Sipan man denies serious allegations that he killed his brother.
Defendant Moses Cabrera appeared in CNMI Superior Court today. He pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault and battery, and assault with a dangerous weapon. Moses Cabrera stands accused in the killing of his 71-year-old brother, Pedro Cabrera. Court documents state Moses told police that he and his brother Pedro got into a heated argument over family land before things turned violent. Pedro allegedly threatened to stab Moses at their family compound. Moses allegedly admitted to police that he killed his brother using a hammer to hit his head head and later left his body in the Garapan area in early August. He is scheduled to appear back in court on September 16.
Back on Guam, a woman is spared jail time after she admitted to her part in stealing copper wire from Guam Power Authority power lines. Olivia Palaquico admitted guilt before Judge Vernon Perez in Superior Court today. She will serve 1 year probation for her crime. Palaquico also agreed to testify against co-defendant Paul Anthony Uggan. In August of last year, the pair were arrested on theft charges after being accused of stealing 130 feet of copper power line. No word if Uggan will also take a plea deal or take the case to trial. Now to the latest on back-to-school openings. Guam Guerrero Elementary School has passed its public health inspection.
Students can expect to begin in-person learning tomorrow, August 20th. This also means students at Chief Brody Elementary School will start their alternating schedule at Guam Guerrero's campus on Thursday, August 22nd. More of the island's public schools are set to open this week. The governor's school opening readiness team today was waiting for more materials and supplies to get some of those campuses repaired. GDOE officials say SORT teams will continue assisting at the schools on Tuesday afternoon. The SORT team deployed to 16 schools last week.
An important note, there will still be a delayed start for Head Start students at Chief Brody, DL Perez, Finagadzan, Machinanao, PC Lujan, Price, and UPI elementary schools. We, of course, will have that list on KUAM.com. These Head Start programs now will not engage in alternating schedules or sites and will return to their classrooms once their homeschool passes public health inspections. For more details, stakeholders can contact the GDOE's Head Start Central Office. That number 671-475-0484. The start of classes also met with a slight delay for a new charter school. First day of classes for the Magalahan Hurao Chamorro Academy Charter School was slated for today. Anne-Marie Arceo, the Hurao Academy founder, says the opening has been pushed back to tentatively Wednesday as they complete the final step in the permitting process.
In June, Hurao's charter petition received approval from the Guam Academy Charter School Council. The charter school will offer pre-K 3 through 5th grade with 1 class per grade level and will be instructed fully in Chamorro with transitional dual immersion. Arceo says there are so far about 120 students enrolled. The campus is the old San Vicente Catholic School in Barrigada, where the Business and Technology Academy Charter School is also located. BTACS is set to start class on September 3rd. The island's other charter schools, Career Tech High, iLearn, Guahan, Mount Carmel, and Science is Fun and Awesome have already started classes this school year. Well, the primary election results are now final.
Now, this makes it official with Democratic candidate Ginger Cruz set to go up against the Republican incumbent Delegate James Moylan in November. The Guam Election Commission spent about 5 hours late Friday counting the absentee and provisional ballots ahead of the certification.
Would entertain a motion at this time to certify the results of the 2024 primary election for the mayoral, vice mayoral, senators, and the delegate to Congress races.
Mr. Chairman, so move.
Okay, motion by Mr. Commissioner Panala, seconded by Commissioner Joe Meno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain. Certification is granted.
Candidates will be called to the Guam Election Commission headquarters in Tumaning this Wednesday to draw numbers for ballot placement.
Additionally, 354 precinct officials who worked the primary can now pick up their checks at the GEC office. Meantime, the November 5th general election is now 77 days away. Now that the primary election is in our rear view, KUAM's The Hub will begin featuring the candidates ahead of the November general election and the ballot being set. We begin with speaking with the village mayors, and we've got 6 of them set to appear on The Hub this week.
Speaking with us on the hub is PD Mayor Jesse Alex, Sinahanya Mayor Robert Hoffman, Mangmang Totu Maiti Mayor Rudy Paco, Barrigada Mayor June Blas, Inalahan Mayor Anthony Chargaloff, and Timuning Mayor Luis Rivera. All 6 are incumbents who are running unopposed. Watch what they have to say to voters on Wednesday on the latest episode of the hub at 6:30 p.m. following primetime. All 5 candidates running to be the next U.S. delegate representing the Northern Marianas in Congress faced off in a forum hosted by the CNMI chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists.
Yeah, regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia was the moderator of the forum and has this report.
All 5 candidates running to be the next NMI delegate came together for the first time for a forum hosted by local journalists. Late last year, several members of Congress wrote to Homeland Security urging a change to the CNMI's visa-free visits from China due to national security concerns. Amid regional tension, each candidate was asked how they would balance both the military buildup and Chinese tourism.
Chinese tourists are not a threat in California, and how many bases are there in California? Right now, we're seeing a surge of Chinese tourists coming in to Hawaii. We're seeing a surge of Chinese tourists. They're actually the second highest tourists in Japan. They're the first, I think it may be, in Korea. So why is it good for everybody else, everybody's economy, except for the CNMI? As your delegate, I want to open up, I want to remove the limitations so that all tourists can come here, so that we can see this money going into our government.
The main difference between Chinese traveling to Hawaii and California and New York is that they actually require a visa, and they actually pay a much higher price for that travel. Guess what? Every single Chinese that comes in here does not require that. Visa is done in parole in place. We're the only territory to allow that.
Make sure that on one hand, we preserve U.S. national security, but at the same time, and not on my watch ever, will be at the expense of our economic prosperity, resuscitate our economy, help our American citizens.
We cannot continue to be a stepping stone for people that are unchecked. And it was said, you know, they come here on a parole in place, and that's not right.
I can hear that China's a threat in this and that, but I don't know the facts. So I think it's really going to come down to a negotiation between the facts versus fiction.
Candidates responded to questions about the military buildup, the economy, and national politics. You can view the full forum on KUAM's YouTube channel. Tomas Manglotnia, KUAM News, Sipan.
Up next, Democrats, including a delegation from Guam, are in the Windy City to nominate Kamala Harris as the next U.S. president.
Plus, a major celebration to benefit a tremendous cause is announced. The details on the red ball coming up. You're watching KUAM.
Hey fam, this is Brandon the Truth Bearer here at Mount Carmel down in Agate, Guam, letting you know for the school year 2024-2025, Mount Carmel is starting a brand new program. Full martial arts, required part of the curriculum every single day. Me of all people, I understand that it takes a team to make this happen. Man, sometimes a village. We have the all-star team coming in. Professor DJ, Action Jackson. Professor Dorian Price. They are coming to Guam. They are coming to Mount Carmel to help make sure that the Alliance Training Center Academy program is running on all cylinders. Come on down, sign up, let's train.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. That's not the wrong when there ain't no soul. Watch me as I go.
It's about that time to dust off your dancing shoes and bring out your best attire.
That's right, the American Red Cross Guam chapter gearing up for its annual Red Ball, a night of glitz and glamour for a great cause.
It's service to the community made possible by the community. Whether it's feeding those in need after a natural disaster or helping families rebuild after a fire, it's through the generosity of the American Red Cross Guam chapter's donors that aid the organization in carrying out this essential work.
I think given the size of our community, how remote we are, and unfortunately how this island is prone to disasters, there's just never enough in the coffers.
It's why the island shows out in their most glamorous attire to raise funds at the annual Red Ball, which this year is chaired by Citadel Pacific CEO Jim Bigley.
The theme for this year's gala is resilient and ready. The theme is chosen to celebrate the heroic actions taken by the American Red Cross volunteers who assisted all those affected by the devastating Typhoon Mawar.
The Red Cross Guam chapter pouring all of its over $1 million of raised funds into the aftermath of Typhoon Mawar response, which was further supplemented by the National Red Cross after the local chapter reached its cap. CEO Red Cross Guam chapter Cheetah Blaze.
We only raised 1.7 million, and so that's all spent already, because the local chapter can never raise enough money to come even close to what the American Red Cross pours in here.
Blaze says she hopes this year's 22nd iteration of the ball will raise around $300,000. Marcus Fong, chairperson of the humanitarian organization's local chapter, noting that 90 cents of each dollar raised will go to direct aid.
I think that's really important for our community to know when we talk about sponsorship and where the money goes.
The American Red Cross Guam chapter's Red Ball is set for September 28th at the Dusit-Tani Guam Resort. For more details about the event, visit KUAM.com.
The Skip Entertainment Company is celebrating their 40th anniversary, and what better way to do so than host a huge gala?
Yeah, it all goes down on August 25th at the Dusit-Tani Grand Ballroom, featuring Skip alum Heather Makalani. She's currently on Broadway, and the Masashi Action Machine, an acrobatic dance company from Nagoya.
And all week long, our Jonah Gancharfris presents a series highlighting the birth, history, mission, and success of Skip.
I remember opening up for Menudo. I remember we were the first group to ever perform. We had a small section of performance time at Disneyland. I believe we even performed at the Kennedy Center. There really isn't one thing or one show that really sticks out in my mind. But what's interesting is I remember the costumes. I may not remember the blockings, but I remember the dance moves. And I may not remember every single place we performed, but I remember the feeling.
That's original Skip member Marcia Damian Titano recalling some of her incredible memories during her time with Skip. Back in 1984, Skip, then known as Sunshine Kids in Production, was born. It had blossomed from Children's Productions Incorporated. 12 years old at the time, Titano and original Skip member Steve Stettenbenz both had different stories as to how they joined Skip, but one thing is for sure, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them to explore the arts and be introduced to dance. In 1985, Skip would embark on their first U.S. mainland 20-city tour. Stettenbenz says one place stood out for him.
When we went to Mrs. Knapp's hometown, and we loaded a bus, and we went through all of the elementary schools in Colorado. And being a big Denver Bronco fan, it was playoffs at the one time, and the Broncos were playing the Cleveland Browns, and it was live, and we watched it live in a roller rink.
Ask anyone who has been part of Skip in some shape or form over the course of 40 years, they will tell you how the experience has changed them.
In my profession today, in training and development, I'm always on stage, always trying to get the audience to be inspired, to kind of like come with me on this journey. And so it definitely has helped me to who I am today.
Skip has taught me. Skip has reinforced for me what I learned growing up, which was time management, interpersonal skills, getting up, dressing up, and showing up, and putting on not necessarily the best performance or the best act, but putting your best foot forward.
Looking back on their years with Skip, they realized as teenagers they were afforded great opportunities, like learning from the Manila Metropolis Ballet Dance Company or performing for the International Congress of Pediatrics in Honolulu.
Every memory I do have, I remember that awesome feeling.
Skip would not be where it is today without its pillar, Terry Knapp, and her husband, Lee, and people like Joyce McCauley, who was pivotal in the company's beginnings.
All this wouldn't be possible without you and without those that believed in your vision. And I hope that you have the strength and energy to continue for another 40 years. And so proud to be part of this Skip family. And
Skip is not just, or has not just been for me, a dance company, but it has been the vessel that has taught me so much about life and about who I want to be. They knew what they were doing, and we had to just trust in them. I'm incredibly proud to be a part of this family.
Wow, get a look at the attire that they had there, the shorts with the stripes and the cutoff shirts.
And I love their scrunchies too on the top.
Let's bring it back.
Let's do it.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view of Micro Beach on Saipan.
Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart calls out to you, but I fear you won't be like I left you.
Get ready to soak up the savings this summer at Kmart. Since 1995, Kmart has been the ultimate summer destination for everything you need. From groceries, to outdoor living, to everyday fashions for the family, we've been there for you. 24 hours a day. Kmart is committed to saving you time and money by offering big international and American brands you know, at prices incredibly low. Whether you're finding the perfect shade for that summer glow in our beauty care aisles, firing up your summer cookouts from top brands like Weber and Kenmore, or gearing up for those outdoor camping and beach adventures, Kmart's your one-stop shop for an active, fun-filled summer. So, join the fun and soak up the savings. You'll find everything you need and more, only at Kmart, the ultimate shopping destination in Guam, where savings, quality, and summer fun meet under one roof. Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
I'm Simon Sanchez, class of 2026, and I play as an outside hitter. I'm really looking forward to playing against the other schools because I have a lot of friends in a lot of different other schools, so it's going to be super exciting and very competitive.
My name is Maddie Acta. I'm class of 2026 at St. Paul Christian School, and I'm a libero. Some things that I'm looking forward to this season is just more teamwork and more experience with my team so that we have good preparation for next season.
Hi, my name is Ari Borja. I'm from Tizen High School. I'm a senior and I'm a setter on our team.
This season, I'm sure many people have heard that we're under different coaching staff now. So our head coach is Coach Kendra Bird and assistant coach Peter Uggan. And as someone who has played both under Coach Rod Palma and Coach Bird over the past few years, me and the girls have noticed the difference in coaching styles, and we know that the product of those coaching styles combined can be beneficial for our team this season.
Hi, my name is Erin Clemena. I'm from Simon Sanchez. I'm from the class of 26, and I'm a middle blocker.
What's the preparation been for this upcoming season?
It's been really good. We've been working really hard, and we've been joining these tournaments, trying to prepare for the season. Yeah, it's been good.
Hi, I'm Maya Green, and I am class of 2026 from St. Paul, playing the right side. For the upcoming season, we were definitely conditioning a lot more than we were before. So everyone's more active, especially since some have actually been playing club. So we're more as a team than we were 2 years ago when we were freshmen. And we're more experienced together too.
Hi, my name is Kylie. I currently attend Tisan High School, and I'm an incoming senior for class of 2025, and I'm Tisan High School's varsity libero. I think what I can tell people to expect is more determination this year around. I believe that a strong team is built off of a strong foundation, and I can tell now that we're on the road to meeting that goal.
Do you remember your favorite McDonald's collectibles? Well, this is them now. Order a collector's meal at McDonald's and choose between 10-piece McNuggets or a Big Mac to get one of 6 collectible cups while you still can. Collectible cups are back, baby. And this time, they're covered in collectibles. Order a collector's meal at McDonald's and get a sausage McMuffin with egg and one of 6 cups while you still can.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Make sure to shine off your clubs or dust off your clubs, depending on how often you play golf. But you're definitely going to want to play at the Autism Community Together Autism Golf Tournament. It's coming up on the 31st of this month at Onward Talafofo Resort. Great course. I've played it before. Very, very challenging. And it is going to help our friends at Autism Community Together. Wonderful, wonderful event. I'm going to have an interview for that on Sports tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. The Micronesian Chefs Association is presenting Mailata Francesa. It is back, and this is an amazing event. It's going to be held at the 28th over at the Hyatt from 6 to 9. Travel through Guam and experience great food and great company. Tickets are just $75. And there is another golf tournament. This is happening up in the CNMI. I got to tell you, man, Coral Ocean Resort, that is a great course. So make sure to make plans. You can play over there on the 24th. Head up and go check it out. Details are available at saipanhotels.com. Look at that course. That's beautiful. Get in golf mode, all right? Golf headspace. Olympics is already over already. We want you to hit the links. We'll see you on the fairway.
It's time now for birthday wishes.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday number 7 to Kainoa Lee Kahelis and Nicholas. Happy birthday to you from your mommy, daddy, and siblings, Makoa, Alana, and Nohea. We hope you have a beautiful birthday today.
That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
80 years since Guam was liberated from Japanese occupation. Hafa, I'm Nick Delgado. Welcome to a KUAM News special, My Liberation Hero. Tonight, we recap some of the stories that we told you throughout the month of July as we celebrated Guam's 80th Liberation Day. Left behind in the middle of a war and rescued by a stranger, Cynthia Tenoria Terlahi shares her survivor's story this time each year. She was 7 when Japanese troops invaded Guam. Decades passed before Terlahi would reunite with the man who saved her life.
The time at Manengu at the camp, I was left alone over there, so I felt myself abandoned. And then people were running different directions, going to, because of the bombing and everything. The Japanese coming after us. And then, finally somebody was passing by, and then he heard a child crying. And then he went inside to investigate, and he says, well, who's with you? And he says, my parents, and he says, there's nobody here. And he says, I'm not going to leave you here. I'm taking you with me. We walk, in the jungle area, but I think for about 2 days, and then we end up in Agat. So he handed me over to the military, dispensary over there. And that was the last time I saw him until 35 years after my marriage when I saw him. And I found out who he really was. And, that's when my husband didn't believe me of my story. And then when he started telling his story, he says, oh my God. And then, when he was, telling his story there too, my husband was just shaking behind me,
Wow.
He said, I can't believe it, and without him, I won't be here today.
What do you want to share with, all your fellow war survivors here today? Do you want to say anything to them?
Well, I just want to tell them, don't forget, don't worry about your age, it's just numbers. And here I am going on 90 already, Yeah, go for it, I just got back riding the go-kart over there in Sipan. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a badass mom.
Abused by Japanese invaders and forced to march at only 6 years old, war survivor Ignacia Perez Dueña Sigüenza recalls her rough childhood during World War II and the years leading up to Guam being liberated.
I was just only 6 years old when the war came, 1941. After that, we moved up to what you call that in what's that Naval Mac in Finner, with my brother. Then after that, we had to move up to Tumnyangun. It's so difficult, And my dad passed away during the Japanese time. So it's only my mom that she's the one that raising us now.
How did you guys make it through? I know that you mentioned it was a difficult time. So how did you guys make it through that time?
It's only my parents and my older brother.
How does it feel to be here today to reflect on that time?
I'm so happy, especially when the American came, when the American came to, after that we had to move down to Agat, and after Agat we moved up to Santa Rita with my mother and my sibling brothers and sisters.
And what's a message that you'd like to send to all of your fellow survivors here today?
I was just talking to my husband and my cousin next to me, and said, oh, look at all this power, there's still a lot. But I know all of them, but I forgot the name because we are in different village. Who are you? Then he told me, oh, you are my cousin or whatsoever.
Whoa, small world, right?
It is,
right?
It is.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
From the group that brought you Joe Coy and Rob Schneider, Guam Comedy brings you the next big Phil-Am comedy sensation, J.R. De Guzman, live on Guam.
My family and I, when we first moved here, we lived in a storage unit. That would have been like the most awesome episode of Storage Wars.
One show only, Saturday, August 31st at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse.
Your friend, your cousin.
Get your tickets now at GuamComedy.com. J.R. De Guzman, live on Guam. Don't miss the fun.
Ordered to move from their home in Hagatna to Chalampago and then to Menengan with her siblings, father, and pregnant mother, war survivor Natty Calvo was only 4 years old when the island was liberated.
My dad said, and my mother, go ahead and pray out there, Agaho. Hono jan nagondigiji. Lokomulibet kanairi, faloguna tsadidiko Agaho. Go ahead and pray out there, and the Lord. Durant, beautiful place. But whenever you see the plane, please run as fast as you can and run down, slide down to the call it a cave that my brothers and my dad dug down in the valley in Chalampago. I would just zoom down to the level ground, and I kept laughing when I went into the cave. And my oldest sister said, "Shh, Pakaka, be quiet. And I kept giggling. And I was wondering why. Why am I to be quiet? I'm enjoying myself. I'm so young. Okay? And then he said, just be quiet. So I listened. We'll move out from Hagatna because of the Japanese bombarding Sumai. We're all told to leave Hagatna and go to all our land where we found during the weekdays. So definitely we had to move my dad, my mom, my brothers and sisters, much older than I was. And we did go to Chalampago. That's probably more than 10 miles. But walking is something else. And my mother with a big stomach, carrying a baby the day before false liberation. My mother had a daughter, a baby girl. So, thank God that this year my sister will be coming to celebrate with me, my nieces and nephews, my brothers who are living. Her 80th year birthday. She's gonna be here.
Surviving the bombing of Pearl Harbor at the start of World War II and one of the concentration camps in Inalahan at the tail end of it, we continue our KUAM News special, My Liberation Hero, with Bill and Mary Paulino, who honor their late parents' history. KUAM's Destiny Cruz shares the story of her papa and grandma.
For our war survivors who have since passed on, they never truly leave us. Their stories and experiences are kept alive in the living and breathing proof of their survival, their children. My papa, Bill Paulino, is the son of Tunwan and Rosa Paulino, who alongside his siblings and many more Chamorro people in Inalahan and on the island, endured unthinkable atrocities during the Japanese occupation of Guam. He was born several years after the war into a different village than they knew.
What happened was that they divided Inalahan in 4 different groups, 4 concentration camps. My parents were sent to Pajestis, and in that area there was only one smoke cave, and the only ones who were allowed to be in that smoke cave were the babies. Other than that, they would sleep, under the rain or whatever it is that came their way during that time. It was really horrible.
He recalls his mother sharing a profound moment when she clung to her faith during what was supposed to be a death sentence.
Japanese soldiers came, about 10 of them, and they went to Pajustice, and they intended actually to march them to Manengan to be all killed, as well as the other concentration camps here in Alahan. That's what they intended. So in the middle of the night, they woke up everybody and they made everybody just stand right there in line. And so my mother took out her Holy Rosary.
Despite threats from the soldiers, everyone at the camp also joining in on that prayer.
And this soldier had a gun, and he told everybody after the Holy Rosary was over to start running. And nobody wanted to move. So he hollered at them again. There were 18 other families, and the families were huge. Finally, my parents decided to just grab all their children and start running.
Incident happening at the tail end of the war. Meanwhile, my grandmother Mary Paulino's Liberation Hero story stems from the start of it. Thousands of miles away in Hawaii, her father Jesus Leon Guerrero was serving in the Navy during the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
On board the USS Oklahoma, that's the ship that was bombarded by the Japanese in Pearl Harbor. His ship was, I don't know how he survived that war.
It was a painful memory, sometimes too difficult for him to share.
A lot of military men were killed because they either drowned in the ship or they couldn't escape. My dad said they tried to open the hatch, but it wouldn't budge.
My great-grandfather eventually moving back to Guam to start a life.
After the war, in 1944, he met my mom.
My great-grandfather's return to Guam marked the beginning of a new era for our family, an era built on resilience, strength, and the unbreakable spirit of our ancestors. Our family story, like that of many Chamorro families, is one of survival against all odds, a testament to the unbreakable will of our people. For those who endured the war, the memories may be too painful to recall in full, but the lessons and the legacy they left behind will never be forgotten. We honor them by remembering their sacrifices, by sharing their stories, and by living our lives with the same courage and determination that defined theirs. As long as we remember, they will always be with us.
The Guam Contractors Association proudly presents the 2024 Samoan Joe Safety Conference and Industry Trade Fair and Expo. Join us on Thursday and Friday, August 22nd and 23rd at the Hyatt Regency Ballroom. Learn about safety training across all industries to ensure safe work environments. Discover the latest in construction safety, building technology, and innovation. Don't miss the Industry Trade Fair and Expo on Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, contact GA. See you there.
Surviving the war in Guam, my late grandparents Maria Fujikawa Delgado and Francisco Delgado are my liberation heroes.
Here is the war. It started in 1941, December 8, 1941.
This is the story of my liberation hero. Her name, Maria Fujikawa Delgado. She's my grandma, who shared her story with me 7 years ago in July 2017.
I just go crazy because the Japanese airplane was flying above us, and then someone is yelling that they bombed the Sumay Bay Ori, where all the militaries.
The Japanese occupation of Guam. Grandma and the family were forced to hide.
We have to run and hide in a farther place, not in Hagatna.
The Fujikawas ended up in Hagatna as the war intensified.
So we stayed there until they decided that the war will be more worse for them because they have to fight now at that time, and the Americans are coming to what you call that,
to help you.
Mm-hmm. So that's the time that we started to be moved out to Manengo.
An uncertain time for Grandma, with the family name also being Japanese.
It's just that I'm always scared too because I'm so young and I don't know what am I going to happen to me with the Japanese. But we were well protected by the Japanese because we are half caste Japanese and our father is pure
Fujikawa.
Yes, yeah. So the respect.
Great-grandpa Masayoshi Antonio Fujikawa was a businessman, not with the enemy forces, but still forced to flee the island for his safety, separated from Grandma and the family for nearly 2 decades. Our now Delgado family grew with Grandma there for us.
And then sometimes you put ponytail in your hair.
Yeah. A happy moment. Opposite from the heartache my family experienced on April 16th, 2024. We sent Grandma up with her angel wings to join my other liberation hero, the Delgado brothers' very own Francisco Delgado.
He ended up at the camp. That was the story that you always mention about it.
Grandpa, who passed in 2015, shared his story with my sister Nicole.
We were forced to go down to the plaza where the plaza is. They registered us and they put a band on our arm, and that band has to be there all the time. White band.
Inman Nangan marked a prisoner of war in his own homeland.
For several months we stayed there. I see a lot of dead Japanese in the water right down in the river. One on top of the mango tree hanging his head down.
It's these stories, now 80 years old, that keeps us connected to our past. And Guam, now ready to honor and celebrate the greatest generation. And for me, the greatest grandparents, my liberation heroes.
This public service announcement is in partnership with Guam Animals in Need, the Boonie Flight Project, Raising Canes, the Bougie Boonie, and KUAM Care Force.
There are so many liberation heroes who we honor and who we've remembered for the past 80 years. The community celebrating this major milestone for the island on July 21st, 2024 during the parade in the capital of Hagatna, a time that goes beyond the floats, performances, and food shared along the route. It's a moment for Guamanians and others to be grateful for the sacrifices made and the freedoms we each get to enjoy today. Among the many returning for the 80th Liberation Day is Lydia Leon Guerrero Smith, my Auntie Rosie, and my liberation hero.
What do I recall? Oh, a lot of stuff. I recall the first day the planes flew over the island, and that was December the 8th, 1941. And we were in Padu. If anybody knows Padu, it's not too far to Agana. The sirens blew, the siren kept going on, come on and off, and we were startled. Me and Mama were getting ready to, we were preparing to take our great-grandmother up to Maga, where you know where Maga is at. It's up in Manila where the family lives. So when the siren starts blowing, everybody was like, what is going on here? And then we heard the planes just coming back and forth, and they look up. When we look up there, they said, oh my gosh, yep, it's a Japanese plane. Because you could see the, you know, they saw the emblem and everything. And they started to go, start shooting down. Well, we had to run and hide in between all the bamboo groves. So our attempt that day was to go down the well to go do laundry for great-grandmother, because we were going to take her up from Padu to Maga. So that ended that trip of going down to the well to do the laundry, and we all ran back to the house where great-grandmother was. And then Mama and I finally had to start back to Maga. And we just walked through the back ways between Padu, Totu, and Maga, all to the back roads and the brushes. So Mama and I just started walking around, and then here we heard the airplanes again, and him going up around. Mama will grab me and lay right on top of me. We hit the ground, you know, and we ran and ran and ran. Whenever it sounds clear, Mama will pick me up, drag me around, and just start running and running to the brushes. And finally, I would say maybe within, in my, you know, in my memory there, I just think that maybe we did this for like about 30 minutes or so, run, hide. And then we finally made it up to Maga. So that was the beginning of that day, 1941.
And you're how old?
Excuse me?
And how old were you?
I was 3 years old. 3 years old. Yep. And so then, you know, so the Japanese came around. They built their camp not too far from Grandma's house, or Grandpa's house. And after that, memory is really very short then, because we haven't done anything. All we do was stay in the house. We were not allowed to go outside because all the able-bodied people in the family, they all have to go out to work, you know, whatever the Japanese people want them to do. So they all leave early in the morning, came home late in the evening, and my great-grandmother, your grandma Edna, and myself, we all just always stay in the house all the time.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Well, yeah. We don't do anything but just stay there, wait for the elders to come home, prepare our food, and you do the same thing over and over for like what, maybe 3 years, 41 to 44. The announcement came that we were supposed to go to camp, concentration camp. So we had to go all the way to Price School. Family members gathered there, and you know, that's where we assembled. So from Maga to Price, and then we started our march to Manyangan that evening. So I was just like 5 years old at the time. I walked all the way from Manila, from Price School, all the way to Manyangan. But then by the time we got to Manyangan, it's probably like maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's just to my estimation, is what I could recall. So when we got to Manyangan, they propped
me up and my sister Edna, my great-grandma, underneath coconut tree. And they took all the able family members to go gather material to make a shelter. And that morning, I believe it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, when we got to Menyengan, I became ill. Right away, I went into convulsion. And from that time on, my memory, I cannot remember days or, days, hours, stuff like that. And I was really very ill because I could not even, I was like paralyzed. I could not move my body. The only thing that I could move in my body was my head, left to right. And I was that way until 1944 when liberation came. We were transferred from Menyengan to another camp. I don't know what the camp was called, but it is someplace behind Zonia. And we were there probably for maybe about a week when they finally announced that the U.S. troops are on the island. We are liberated. I got a little bit better probably about maybe a month or so after they brought us back to my camp. Because I had to go to like the dispensary and get x-rays, blood work, etc., etc. So it took me a while to recover. I believe within maybe a year or so, then I started getting better where I could get up and walk, be able to eat because I didn't have any appetite or anything at that time. And then after that, well, let's see what happens next. We were back to our home in Mega, and then within months, we were asked to move out of the place again because the Marines were going to use the property for their camp. Mega, where everybody is at right now. So, that was like, it's hard telling my feelings about that. I was young. I was very young, like I said, going on 6 years old at the time we got liberated. But all that memory that I have there just stuck to me from the very first day that the enemy